couple of weeks ago, I put out a video talking about how it's important to listen. It's such a key thing. We need to be listening to young people. In the book, Growing Young, one of the key elements that we need is to empathise with young people, which is to not judge them, but to walk alongside them. Material comes out of Fuller Youth Institute, and after a bunch of research. 6 characteristics, one of those was to empathise with young people. 2 of the authors of that work, Powell and Griffin, continued some more research, and they came out with this book, 3 Big Questions That Change Every Teenager. Should remember all of that, but I don't. In the book, they note that we practice empathy when we notice and care. It's important that we're listening to young people, that we're taking time. So this book helps to talk about that. In it, they say, one of the reasons young people are drifting from faith is that churches aren't focused on the questions that they care about most. Instead, we're pitching answers to questions that aren't anywhere near their strike zone. So we're looking at these questions of faith that aren't really the questions that young people are asking. So what are they asking? What are the 3 big questions? So big that we need a book that thick. It's not that thick. A book to tell us. It must be really important. Probably, we need someone to tell us what are those 3 questions. They are, who am I? Where do I fit? What difference can I make? Hang on, you sometimes ask yourself those questions? We all do, but particularly young people are wrestling with those questions. They picked that up in the Growing Young material, and this research has continued to emphasise that these are the key questions that young people are asking. So in the book, they go through each of those questions. Young people are seeking their identity, who am I? They're seeking where they belong, where do I fit? And they're seeking purpose. What difference can I make, or how can I make a difference? And so they work through what is often the answers that the world around them gives to the young people. Some are supportive, some we might go, there's so much more to you. And there is. And so the next chapter talks about what might be the biblical answer or the Christian answer to that question. How can we help young people to know? Who am I? Well, I'm accepted just as I am by God. I don't have to be something else. Where do I fit? I am part of God's family. What difference can I make? I can be part of God's big story. And I am part of God's big story. They're the messages we want young people to face. Awesome. We have the answer. All we need, right? Not quite. We all know that talking with young people, they don't want someone just coming up, here is the answer. They want someone to journey with you. So the book also gives you a whole heap of questions on each of those topics. Questions that you might sit down. You're not going to sit down and go, okay, ready? I'm going to go through the list and go through them all with the young person. But you might pick someone out and go, let's talk about these things. Have them in your mind. Have them in a sheet of paper. If you go, hey, I've just got these questions I'd love to ask you. Don't make it too weird. But it gives you those resources and those tools to help you. Throughout the book, they quote a number of young people that they talk to in the research. A young person, a guy called Garrison, said this: I wish they had asked me what I wanted to do in life and who I wanted to be. I wish they'd been more curious about who I was and less exacting on who I should be according to their theology, tradition, practice, and ideas about the world. I think if I had more curious adults in my life, I would have felt much more like I fit. I would have felt at least heard. This book gives us the chance to be one of those curious adults, to be someone who sits and listens with young people. This is so cool. So let me encourage you, get the book and borrow it from me, order it online, track it down somehow. Grab the book, read through it, find a young person that you can sit down and get to know more. I'm hoping you already have a young person in your life, that this might actually be a tool to help you to support and walk alongside better. So let me encourage you to check out this book and keep on listening. If you didn't watch the training, go back and watch that as well. I could say, like and subscribe to all these sorts of things. You do what you want. But that's this month's book review. Find out what's going to happen next month. Catch you around.